And the thing is, the mechanisms have been extensively studied, and each of these antiparasitic drugs has about a dozen mechanisms of action by which they act against cancer. So, for example, ivermectin, it acts on cancer stem cells. It can identify cancer stem cells and shut them off. It also reverses chemoresistance. So it'll, on a molecular level, it'll reprogram cancer cells so that they're not resistant to chemotherapy.
Sure, but it also goes and shuts down viral replication. So what I'm saying is...
Absolutely.
So why did hillbillies 36 years ago, they didn't know what it was. They just knew it was, they're all eating, horse dewormer. What is it then?
It's such a fascinating molecule. It's got so many different mechanisms of action. So in parasites, it shuts down, chloride channels. In viruses, it blocks replication of viruses. In cancer, I mentioned the cancer stem cells. It also shuts off proliferation pathways, tumor proliferation pathways. So I'll give you a very quick, fantastic example. I have a breast cancer patient, and her tumor was shrinking. And she emailed me, and she's super excited. And she said, Dr. Makis, I need to talk to you about something. She wasn't as happy about her tumor shrinking. She was happy that her fibroids had disappeared, fibroids that she had problems with for 20 years. And it's because the ivermectin shut down the pathways that are implicated in the proliferation of fibroids.
No, that's in the uterus, a non-malignant tumor.
Yeah, exactly. And so ivermectin has pathways to shut down the proliferation of benign tumors as well, lipomas, fibroids, endometriosis, benign brain tumors.
So it selectively is able to shut down cells that are malfunctioning.
Exactly.
How does it differentiate, or how does it differentiate?
Nobody knows, but it does it at a molecular level. So, for example, they put ivermectin into mice that had lymphoma in the spleen, and ivermectin was able to identify normal spleen cells versus the lymphoma cells that were rapidly proliferating and creating tumors. And it shut down the rapidly proliferating cells, and it didn't touch the normal cells.
Who invented ivermectin? Didn't it win like a Nobel Prize or something?
Ivermectin was discovered by a Japanese scientist back in the 70s. I believe it was discovered from, it was a compound from a bacterium that was discovered on a golf course. And so then they isolated it and modified it, and then started using it, discovered that it had antiparasitic properties, so started using it in animals, then started using it in humans. Yeah. It won the Nobel Prize in 2015, along with another antiparasitic herb called Artemisia, which is sweet wormwood.